playing her first match. Fernando Verdasco played the first match in the stadium here early today, defeated Benjamin Becker.
Glatch showing some great defensive skills there. It's another part of her game she's been working on so hard, is the off court, trying to get stronger and faster, and gonna have to get a lot of balls back. Serena Williams can hit the lines so well.
30-15.
It seems that the whole question of fitness has disappeared for Serena. You used the word dedication at the beginning, Lindsay, and that seems to be the product of it.
A few years ago in Australia, she showed up, for her, really out of shape. People were really doubting her commitment to tennis at that time.
40-15.
But she's gotten older, she's more mature, and she knows that she's going to be remembered by how many Grand Slam titles she wins, and that's really her goal.
Game, Williams.
So 3-1 now for
Williams
Serena.
leads 3 games to 1.
A reference to matches going on elsewhere. John Isner, who's also an American here on a wild card, trying to capitalize on that. Won his first round match.
He actually was in the qualifying here, I believe. I believe he came through qualifying. And I better check that before I open my mouth too big.
That's beyond Glatch's lunge. And you're right, Isner did.
Only brought that up. It's very difficult to qualify, get through first round match. Got to give him some props for winning those qualifying matches. Those are the errors you don't see from Serena in the latter stages of the tournament. Second serve errors. She gets sharper each match she gets under her belt. Hasn't played a tournament in a few weeks.
(30-15).
Serena again trying to just crush that second serve. Well, David Ferrer has pulled out. A set on Isner. Bobby Reynolds trying to get Radek Stepanek into a tiebreak.
Game, Glatch.
So Glatch has steadied herself a couple of holds in this first set. Glatch.
Love.
Just looking here, Lindsay, the only American women to qualify here at Sony Ericcson Open is Jill Krabus, who's in her 30s now. Alexa was a wild card here. And
30 love.
And so that's the interesting contrast, because we just touched on guys like Isner, and there were 6 American men who qualified here.
It's not a great state for U.S. women's tennis. And, you know, even you're talking about the outside courts. You got Bobby Reynolds playing and Isner. We talked about all the men that qualified here. Robert Kendrick, Taylor Dent. You just don't have really a lot of names to talk about on the women's side. And we're so used to such a great history and players coming up and challenging even for the top, but we don't have players challenging to get in the top 50, top 70, and hopefully that'll change in the next few years.
Who's the, is there a player or 2, 3 of promise that you look at and think? I mean, we saw Coco Vandeweghe under the lights at the U.S. Open last fall.
Game Williams.
You have somebody like that.
We have a lot of young, good juniors coming up, and there's also Christina McHale, Julia Boserup, Melanie Uden. I'm biased. Coco's a very good friend of mine, and I think I think the world of her. So I think she's got a lot of potential. But the great thing is about Alexa Glatch is she's the one out there winning the matches, and these other girls haven't been able to win matches on the tour level yet, and you know, they're 17, 18 years old, and you know, in women's tennis, a lot of times you see Grand Slam champions at 17, 18, and so you hope in a few years these girls are out here winning matches and challenging the top. But I don't think I could say this player is going to be in the top 10 for sure. And a lot of times we're so spoiled by that throughout the years, and in other countries, you knew Victoria Azarenka. It was just a matter of time before she got to the top 10. It's not as confident about that prediction with some of these American girls that I've seen yet.
Let's for service.
If you could put your finger on a reason, do you have a theory that you'd offer?
My biggest theory comes from almost in the mid-90s, especially the 96 Olympics. So many women's sports just blew up in Atlanta, soccer and softball and basketball. And I mean, I started playing tennis in 80, 81, and there was nothing else really for my parents to put me in. I think now there's so many more choices.
I was just going to offer Title IX. That's been one of my theories, exactly that. So many more, and the creation of more sports at our college level for women to play, like lacrosse, that never existed when you were coming through the ranks.
Absolutely, and even on the pro level, you could turn on the TV on the weekend, you see beach volleyball on network TV, and you see all these other sports. It's not just tennis. And in the 80s, a lot of early 90s, it was really tennis. It was the premier dominant sport, and you saw a lot of golf as well, but it's almost too many choices now for these girls, which is a good thing, just a bad thing for our sport.
But Serena and Venus are walking, breathing proof that there's still no sport that offers the opportunity on the professional level for women that tennis does.
Absolutely, and Richard Williams talks about how he got his girls into the sport by seeing a player receive a prize money check for a certain amount. My girls will be winning those, he said, and that's exactly what's happened.
So that gets away from Glatch, and with that may well go the first set. A second break now for Serena.